So I'm going to tell you a story today about a time that I gave everything I could and it still wasn't enough. And have a think about that in your life. Is there ever a time where you've given something absolutely everything you could and it didn't turn out enough? When I was very young, we're looking at, it's got to be kindergarten, when I was in primary school, be the first ever sporting event that I attended. I was very excited. There's a running race. I don't remember how long it was, like I was a kid. So we're talking like 50-meter sprint. First ever sporting event. I'd never been exposed to sporting events before. And I was very excited. Here it was, a great day. There's the whole school's out on the field. Everybody's cheering. There's been sporting, other athletics events running around, happening on the field. There's just energy everywhere and it's all a buzz. And I'm nervous and excited to be involved in my first race. And, you get up there, I'm nervous, but, you're having never done it before. You've put yourself in the shoes of a little kid. You're just there, it's a running race, it's a sprint, and you get lined up and they got the starter pistol. This was back when they still had starter pistols for school events, and it was incredibly loud, but I lined up and they lined us up and I saw the finish line and bam, they squeezed that pistol. And I'm so excited. I've given it everything I could. I'm running up that race, looking at the finish line, watching what I'm going, and I'm running and running and running. And all I can think about and all I can focus on is giving it everything I've got and going as fast as I can so that I can get to the end of that race and see how well I did and get the accolades and be part of the events and part of everything that came. So I just ran and basically blacked out with all the energy coming out. I'm puffed, I'm red in the face, just pushing and pushing and pushing until I get to the finish line and the teacher just grabs me and says, "Kid, you came last. Go and sit over there." And I look behind me and there's no one behind me. Everyone in front of me came way ahead of me. I was way, way, way behind. And here I was at a time where I had, at a very young age, just I had given it my all and it wasn't enough. And, the sense of relationship and the sense of belonging and the sense of achievement that I had hoped for as a tiny little kid just flushed away. And what this lesson taught me was that sometimes school can teach you the wrong lessons. The school taught me that being good at sport and being able to run fast was the most important thing. And I was shunned and sent away. For the rest of that day, there was no more events for me. You didn't qualify, you didn't pass, you had to come in a certain ranking or you're out. And that was it. So like an entire day of sporting events and I'm out right before it even started. And with not much to show for it, right? So, it kind of brings a tear to my eye a little bit now at the frustration of that. And it's put me in a position in my life where I refocused my energies onto things. I was not interested in sport from that moment on. And I never really participated in sport. I wasn't particularly interested. Now, it might be partly coming from a family where we weren't particularly sporty motivated. My father wasn't around much. He was busy working to try and support us as kids. And my mother wasn't particularly interested in sport. So it was easy for me to just slip into the shadows and not have to participate. But here we are now, right? We've grown up a long way. Now, I've had success in sport. I played judo in high school, as it turns out, and ended up getting a bronze medal at the state judo titles, which was very exciting. So it's not a dead set thing that I was never particularly good at sport. But as an adult, I'm still not interested in sport, and it's not something I particularly value. And there's other things I do value, and it's, as an adult, I can see what I bring to the table. I've got this creative spirit. I love to make these videos. I love to perform music. I love to share. I love to teach. I've developed an expertise in IT, and I love to have fun, and I love to make friends, and I love to go out and socialize. And these are all really valid, great things. And so the lesson of this is that there are experiences in our lives that often don't go as the plan, and we take on meaning about those as children, and they don't really need to mean anything, particularly through an adult lens. And so as an adult, that's something I can look back on. And similar to a story I told yesterday about going to a daycare event for a daycare and getting dressed up that I was ridiculed for what I was wearing. These moments in our lives can happen. Now, I'm not at all encouraging to dwell on these, but they're a very good way to learn about yourself and learn about some of the things that make you up. This is my storytelling challenge. I'm telling stories every day. These are my first two. And I just love to teach the lesson that what do they say? Your past doesn't equal your future. And so here I am now, not a sporty person, don't particularly like running races. But I can learn something. What thing I really notice in my own personal makeup is that I'm often not competitive, but perhaps I am a very competitive person, because if I don't think I can win, if I don't think I'm going to come first, I don't bother, right? Because that's the lesson I learned back then, is if you're not going to win, you're just going to sit down and might as well go and have fun and enjoy yourself, and why put the effort in there? However, if I think I can win, well, it's more like if I'm pretty damn sure I can win, I get very competitive, because then I get the chance to prove that wrong. And that's possibly a dysfunctional behavior of mine. And so here we are now, being able to see that it sort of kept me in that place of staying in IT for a very long time, trying to work at it and pretty much playing that same game out all over again, just in a different field, trying to work very hard to be the best I can in IT, and just, burning myself out in something that wasn't particularly of value to me. I was doing it because it was a good thing to do. It made good money. It was socially acceptable, etc. And that's the path I had been sent down. So here we are now, trying something new, creating this content, building a new life, creating a brand for myself, and delivering these stories to you. And I hope you enjoyed it, because there's perhaps a lesson for you. So there are things that happen in our life that are painful, but as adults, they don't necessarily mean anything. So think about it. Drop a message in the comments if there's an event in your life where you've experienced a similar struggle, where there's something in your past where you've given it everything and it hasn't worked out for you. And have a think about in your adult life how that might have taught you a dysfunctional lesson, and now in your life, with your adult eyes, you can see that you've actually got a whole heap of different skills, and perhaps there's another path you can be on. Drop that in the comments. That's the end of my story for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll be doing another one tomorrow. See you later.